Hi, so this vlog is starting exactly where the last vlog ended. So if you know, you know that we are going to start this vlog actually by doing some unboxing because I have some packages and I'm super excited. So the first package I have is my first box from Twisted Retreat. And I'm really excited because I specifically got this box because the premise of the book in this box sounds so good. If you don't know, Twisted Retreat is a horror-based book subscription service, and you also get things in it. I don't remember if they have a book-only option. You might have to get it with like the stuff too. That's how I ordered it, because yeah, I don't remember if there was even an option for just the book. Okay, so here is the spoiler card if you want to see that. I honestly don't remember exactly how much this box was. I want to say after like tax and shipping and stuff, I want to say it was like around 50 or 55 maybe. I'm not totally sure, but the very first item is actually a very large book sleeve, and it looks like, I guess, Dracula and one of his brides. It smells a little weird, but it's very big. Actually, the last vlog you would have seen I just showed some of my other book sleeves. So it's a little bit bigger than the large ones that I have. So it's very big. It's got a zipper. And it does seem waterproof, so that's a good thing. So that's pretty cool if you need book sleeves. This looks like a little box. Oh, this is cute. It says, "Till death do us part. The ring is on my hand and the wreath is on my brow." I don't know what that's from. It's like this little faux leather box and it's magnetized. Oh, yeah. It's like this box. That's cool. I don't know if it's for something like in particular. Let's see if it says on this card. Okay, the book sleeve is Lucy and Dracula. I haven't read Dracula. This is called Bridal Ballad Secret Letterbox. Homage to the master of macabre romance, Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, with a decor box inspired by his haunting tale, Bridal Ballad. Okay, I haven't read that one. Okay, so this is like inspired by Edgar Allan Poe works. Pretty cool. I don't really know what I'm going to put in it, but I like it. It's like not velvet, but it's very nice lining. Cool. Oh, I think one thing with Twisted Retreat is you always get a candle. I think that's a thing. So it looks like this is a candle. Oh, it's inspired by Crimson Peak. It's like orange and pink. Crimson Peak. It smells good. Oh, you go ahead, give it a sniff. No, it smells good, but the candle's a little bit loose in it, but that's okay. Once I burn some of it, I'm sure it'll harden onto the bowl. So that's cool. I love candles. I can never get enough of them, honestly. So, oh, and then we have a huge pin. This is a huge pin. Moonies. That rings a bell. Is that from you or no? What is it? What's this from? So it's an enamel pin. Yeah, you. That's what I thought. It's you inspired. That's where Joe Goldberg worked, and it's very big actually. It's like a really big pin. That's cool. I like that. The box smells really good. Oh, that's whatever this is. I was gonna say, is that the candle? Whatever this is smells so good. Twisted Retreat Spring. What is this? Body oil. Oh my god, this smells so good. It's Prosecco, cranberry, and secrets. That's what it says. Prosecco, cranberry, and secrets. It's like a dropper bottle of oil. This smells so good. I'm like really excited for this, actually. I love that. Okay, I love this. This smells so good. Is it inspired by something or no? Spring movie inspired. Okay. So it's just like spring inspired pretty much. Okay, I love that actually. That smells so good. Oh. A little, I don't know what this is. A strawberry banana carob bites. I don't know. It's some type of food. there's that. And then, oh, you know what? I think we get 2 books. Do we get 2 books? Or is this just something big? No, we get 2 books. What is this? Sugarcane by Cassandra Celia. Here's the book. The edges are like silver. I'm going to take it out of its wrapping in a second. And then, I forgot to mention that the fun thing about Twisted Retreat is it has special editions of horror books. Whereas like Nightworms, which is another package I'm about to open, it's just standard editions. But Twisted Retreat is like the only book subscription I know of that has horror special editions, which is pretty cool because there's like so many special edition fantasy places, Fairy Loot, Illumicrate, Owl Crate, what is it? Whatever, you know what I mean. There's like so many of those. And there's not like any for any other genres, it seems like. They're slowly starting to do like romance and stuff, but horror is definitely lacking in special editions. But oh my goodness, look at the papers. Okay. So I don't know what this is about. Oh, and it's signed, like legitimately signed too. It's not like digital. This is pretty cool. I don't know what it's about. Do I have it somewhere? Okay, it says, lose yourself in the intoxicating tale of love's twisted embrace, where secrets lurk in every shadow and true desires are veiled behind a facade of innocence, in Cassandra Celia's novella Sugarcane, featuring exclusive blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I don't really know what it's about, but maybe like dark romance kind of thing. Not like that, but like romance, but then some dark elements, maybe? I don't know. The theme was Twisted Romance because this is the February box, which I didn't say, but the theme was like Twisted Romance. So I think that is probably a good assumption to make. Oh, and then there's a tarot card that I forgot to pick up. Oh, it's a Haunting Adeline inspired. I hated Haunting Adeline. I DNF'd it. So anyways, there's a tarot card. So this is a book that made me buy this box and it looks really pretty. Okay, the book is called In the Roses of Puria by Anne Burke. Oh, I think that this is very similar to the original cover. Let me look it up. Oh no, the cover is a little different. In the original cover, I'll put a picture up here. There's like branches, I guess, more branches. And then this one has much more like mushrooms, much more different foliage. So I do like this cover better. And then the edges are stenciled and they look so pretty. They look really good. Very well done. And it's all just plant and foliage and mushrooms. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so, okay, the cover's reversible. The reverse side is stunning, and I almost wish it was already bent this way because I hate bending them back, but there's the reverse cover. Super pretty. Just quite, especially the back is much more bold. I don't think I even showed the back of the other one, but it's much more like subdued, which I still really like actually. But the reversible cover is very pretty, and then the naked book is really pretty too. Oh, I love it. And the book is like very square, so it's kind of like how Bookish Box, I feel like their books are very, very like square and like just 90-degree angles all around. And I feel like this is a very square one. I love it. And then the end pages, oh, this is really pretty. This is like so, like if I designed a book, here we go. This is stunning. This is so pretty. Oh my gosh. And then it's signed like legitimately, not just like a digital signature. It says it's The Blood Files Book 1. So sounds like it's going to be a series. So what is this book about, you might ask? I don't know. Like I just remember some keywords that I liked. So it says, when Clara Eden is offered a job as an archivist working for eccentric estate owner Agatha Montague, she thinks her prayers have been answered. Soon, she finds herself sucked into a research world captivated by a romantic correspondence thousands of years old. But as her feelings for her employer's assistant, Fiad, deepen, so does her suspicion that something about Agatha Montague isn't right. Unfortunately for Clara, it is far too late to run by the time her suspicions are confirmed. It says award-winning author Anne Burke delivers the shivers in this daring, queer, dark fantasy romance, teeming with sensuous vampires, dark academia, plant horrors, and terrifying fungal fae. That sounds so good. That sounds so fucking good. I'm so excited. Oh my god, I am so excited. I think I have to read this book. I know it was not on my March TBR, but like it's the one book that's making me excited right now. That sounds so good. I don't want to get too excited though. I don't want to get my hopes up, but wow. I'm excited. Okay, so this was a really great box. I feel like everything we got was very useful. I did already skip the March box because the March was like a, what was it? They had a sneak peek on here. It's like ghost stories. So it was very supernatural based. And I have had horrible luck with supernatural stuff. I don't know that I like supernatural stuff. So I decided to skip that one just because the premise did not sound very interesting to me to either of the two books in the box. So I skipped that one. Oh, on this card, because I decided not to look at it beforehand, it shows the original cover and then the Twisted Retreat version. So that's the original cover to Sugarcane. So that's kind of cool. I love that they have that there for you. So I didn't have to look them up, but I did anyways. Okay, so that was that box. And I still have my Nightworms box. So let me get this cleaned up. And then we'll come back and I'll open my Nightworms package. Okay, so Nightworms package time. So again, this is another horror book subscription service of which you also get 2 books in each month. These are not special edition books, but you do usually get a signed book plate by at least one of the authors. You get some sort of drink and some like magnets or stickers, a little pack of little goodies. So I do already know what the books are in this one because Nightworms does post spoilers on their Instagram if you are curious to know. So I do always check out the spoilers because I'll post them before like subscription renewal or before the book package is like up for purchase. So I do check them to make sure that they're at least books that I'm interested in, because I think that this one also, after like taxes and stuff, is like $50, which honestly is kind of a lot considering, especially comparing it now to like Twisted Retreat. But in Nightworms, they do tend to pick books that are very popular, like very new releases, like upcoming anticipated books, whereas Twisted Retreat I feel like tends to have a lot of lesser known books, less talked about, and very, I don't know if they're technically indie authors or indie books, but it does feel like Twisted Retreat has a lot of books that like I had not previously heard of and didn't really know about until I saw it through there. So kind of depends what types of books you're into. Nightworms definitely has much more of the anticipated books, but let's go through our little bag of goodies. The theme was Blood Oath, and this is the March package. There's some spoilers too down there, and you do always get a bookmark that matches the theme, which I do love to get those. Let's see, we have a sample pack of coffee by Cold Tusk Coffee Company. It's called Arctic Slaughter. I don't know if it's flavored. It doesn't seem like it's flavored in any way, but it's a pretty good size. Probably get like 3 cups of coffee out of that. Ooh, this is a really cute magnet. The skull and Books and Mushies. Kind of fits the aesthetic to the other book. Ooh, and then we get a sticker, a really big sticker, and I really like it. It says Read More Women, bigger than my palm. And then we actually, this month, got both of the authors' signatures on book plates. So that's pretty cool. Now, one of these books I have actually already read and talked about on my channel, but we did get a hardback copy of The Haunting of Velkwood by Gwendolyn Kist. It's interesting seeing it in person because I read it on like as an e-arc on my Kindle. If you are curious about it, I talk about it in my January wrap-up despite me reading it in February. I accidentally talked about it in my January wrap-up instead of in February, but I did read this one. So we won't like read the synopsis or anything, but I have a copy of this now. And then the other book is one that I had heard about. It is called Forgotten Sisters by Cynthia Pelayo. I believe that this is like a mystery / supernatural horror, I think. It says more and more people are going missing in the river and 2 detectives come calling. They're looking for a link between the mysteries of the river and what's housed on the bank. Anna and Jenny don't understand how dreadful it is and still can be when the truth about their unsettled lives begin to resurface. So I don't really know what to expect with this. I'm gonna wait to kind of hear more people talk about it. It seems a little bit too crime leaning for my particular taste. But maybe it's not, but it does seem crime leaning. So I don't really know, but I have a copy of this now too. So that's it for the Nightworms package. Now I need to figure out what to read. So I left off my last vlog in a bit of a conundrum because this was the stack I'm working with of books that I might read next. I did start Powerless. I'm only 25 pages in. I just like don't know what I'm in the mood for. But see, like now that I opened this book, In the Roses of Pyrrha, like that sounds really good. But like it doesn't do anything for me for the readathon in terms of like at least my team, because the cover is nothing. I guess if it's dark academia, that's like maybe a school setting. If she's going there to research, does that like count for school setting? I feel like school doesn't have to be just like a building, but a mindset, you know? And if she's like specifically doing research, I feel like that's like academia. That's schoolish. I don't know. Maybe I'm like trying to get it to fit something. Now, it would probably get me attack or defense points otherwise. And like it is over 200 pages. It's actually over 300 pages. So there's like the page bonus points. But otherwise, it's really like not doing anything else. But I kind of really want to read it. So I think what I'm going to do, which is so extra, I think I'm going to take these 4 books and I'm going to read either like the first chapter or like the first few pages at least of each of these and kind of see which one tickles my fancy the most and probably start that. That's like, I know, so annoying because like just pick one, right? But I can't, I don't know. And then Powerless, I will still read, but I do also have the audiobook for this right now. So I think that I will kind of simultaneously read / listen to this slower on like a more slow pace. Cause I mean, yes, I'm only 25 pages in, but it's just like not making me excited, honestly. It's not bad. It's only 25 pages in, but I'm just like not thrilled to keep going just with this one. So I think I want to add another book to my currently reading. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to read some pages from all of these and see how I feel. 2 of these were on my TBR and 2 of these were not on my TBR. So we're not going to talk about that, okay? So I'm going to do that and then I'm going to check back in when I pick out the book. Okay, so that actually just made it so much harder because I want to read like 3 books. So the one I definitely excluded is Two Twisted Crowns. I'm just not into it at the moment. But all 3 of these are like super intriguing. In the Roses of Pyria, this opens up with a scene in a classroom. So it is school setting. I would count it as school setting. Out of these 3, I don't know which one I want to read first, but I think I'm going to read all 3 of these in this vlog. At least I'm going to try to. At least I'm going to read probably 2 of them and start the 3rd one. So I think I might start with Starved Acre because I feel like this will read really fast. I actually read up to page 17. And I think it'll make me feel really good to finish a book fast and then jump into the next one. But all I know about this before I like read what I read was that it's like a folk horror. Now, since I've read at least some of it, it seems like we are following a man who lost somebody, and he lives on like a lot of land, and he's currently very invested in digging up some of the land. And that's really all we got going on right now, but it has an eerie tone to the whole thing, and it feels a little bit like you don't really know what's going on. And I kind of feel like I want to start with this one. And then I think I will probably read Death Valley next. I actually didn't read too many pages of this one. The writing is really nice already, and I was smiling because it talks about this quote: "Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced." And then our narrator says, "I realized I was doing the exact opposite of what the quote suggested, trying to solve a problem, the problem of me and my mood, rather than just experiencing it. But how do you just experience things?" And it made me kind of laugh because I feel like that's exactly what I was trying to do with this whole starting of this vlog, was trying to figure out what my mood is. And it's like, why figure it out? Just start going, you know? So that made me laugh. I think I'm going to read this one 3rd, but I'm really going to try to get to this one in this vlog. So that's why I'm going to kind of start with some short ones to kind of motivate me to get to this one. So I'm going to start with Starved Acre by Andrew Michael Hurley, and I will come back with like a better synopsis. So far, it's kind of giving grief horror vibes. I think there's some grief going on. It seems like our main character, Richard, and his wife Juliet lost somebody. I'm kind of assuming it was a son, but it seems like they lost somebody, and it seems like they're both dealing with grief in different ways so far, but it's very early on. So I'm gonna start this one. I have some updates for Starved Acre by Andrew Michael Hurley. So let me move this out of the way so that's not annoying. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I'm really, really enjoying this, and I'm really glad I decided to keep reading this. So this book does not have any chapters. It is just split up into part 1 and part 2. So I did make it to part 2 on page 145. So just over 50%. To expand on the premise I gave briefly previously, based on like the first 12 or 15 pages or whatever. So this book, we do follow a couple, Juliet and Richard, and they lost their son Ewan when he was like 5 years old. So he was very young when he passed, and they are both dealing with their grief in very different ways. Like I kind of mentioned before, Richard is focusing a lot of his attention on the land that they live on the moor that they live on, and digging up the land and stuff like that. And the wife, Juliet, actually believes that Ewan is still around in some other form. And she deals with this by actually reaching out to a group of maybe like spiritualists. I don't really know what they call themselves, the Beacons, but I guess maybe they'd be like spiritualists. And she reaches out to them to kind of, I don't know, potentially get closure or answers or something like that. As I said before, the story has this very overarching, eerie feeling and tone to it. And it still has that, but we are slowly getting more to the picture. It seems like Ewan might have had a couple of issues, I guess, before he died. There's hints that he did some questionable things, even as a very young child. There's just hints that there were maybe some flags before he died. And we don't know how he died. We just know that he did. So I'm really enjoying it, and it gets pretty into nature. And there's something that happened, which is like kind of why a bunny's on the cover, and I loved it. I love nature built into horror, like horror, nature, planty horror, when decay's involved, anything like that, fungus, mushrooms, like just planty nature-based horror. I absolutely love, like, so much. I feel like every book that I have read that was like a horror book that tied in nature elements like that, I've just totally loved and enjoyed. It's something I really want to kind of seek out intentionally more often and kind of create a list of some sort of all of the books that I've read that integrate those elements into it, because it is just an element that I really, really enjoy. So it has some of those elements in here, and I really like it. I don't know, I really like the story. The writing is very pretty too. Not pretty like lyrical the whole way through, but there are some sentences that I'm just like, wow, that was like just really hit. I like the way it's written. I like the themes that we're doing. I like the elements that are involved. Really great so far. I am really excited to keep reading it. I want to finish it today. I don't know if I can. I have exactly 100 pages left. Or no, I have actually 93 pages left, and it does read very fast because, like I said, it is on the shorter side, and then the formatting is pretty spaced out. Like the font is pretty big and all of that, so I might be able to finish this book tonight if I really hunker down and focus in. I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna like push myself beyond what I want to absorb, if that makes any sense. But making great progress with Starvacre, really, really liking it, and very excited to keep reading. I will probably check back once I'm done with Starvacre and give you guys my final thoughts, but it is feeling very good so far. There's still a lot to figure out though with the story, and I feel like a lot to still kind of unravel, but it's feeling very high rating. It's feeling like at least a 4-star book, which would be great. I feel like this month is going pretty well so far, so we'll see. But next time you guys see me, I will be done with Starvacre. Yesterday, I ended up finishing Starvacre by Andrew Michael Hurley. Or no, I finished it 2 days ago. I just sat and finished the rest of the whole book in one sitting. It wasn't very long. I think that there was only like 100 pages left. And like I said, it reads really fast. So I ended up really, really enjoying this. This is much more of a atmospheric folk type horror where it's not like super in your face, but it's just very subtly creepy and eerie the whole way through. And you're just on edge in a way. Like it's not as on edge as maybe probably like a thriller is. You're not like gripping the edges of your chair, but you're kind of like, what's going on here? And you're just a little bit off put the whole time. I will say the ending probably won't be for everybody. It's not necessarily ambiguous, but it does not spell out anything. And it kind of just like ends on a very weird sentence and a very weird note. So I loved it. I thought it was great. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. It's just like not giving me 5-star. I don't know why, but it's just like not giving me full 5 stars, but I really, really liked it. And there's really nothing I can say that I didn't like about it. But at the same time, it just like wasn't like, oh my God, easy 5 stars for me. And I don't know, but I really, really liked this. And I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it to my top list at the end of the year either way, whether it's a 5-star or not. But I thought it was great, and I'm happy because I loved the cover and it really made me excited to pick up another book. So I did. And I ended up starting Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I am on page 63, chapter 14, probably 25 to 30% of the way in. This book is, let's see, 232 pages, so it's another shorter one. So what is this book about? Going into it, all I kind of thought I knew was that it's about a woman who gets lost in a desert and she has like hallucinations or something strange, and it's very fever dream feeling. So the book opens up where we meet our main character. I actually don't remember her name. I don't know if we learned her name. Did we learn her name? Whatever. I don't know. We open up with our main character, and she is kind of going through a lot of difficult things in life at the moment. Her dad is in the ICU after a really bad accident. Her husband is suffering from some mysterious illness. So she's just kind of going through a lot of complex emotions, you know, grieving somebody before they're gone, but then also being guilty that she has moments where she kind of feels angry towards these people, and a lot of complex stuff and a lot of complex emotions. This is very, very, very character driven, but I am absolutely loving it so far. The main character is an author in this book, and she ends up going to the desert to kind of become inspired for the book she's working on, because the book she's working on has like a scene in the desert where an incident happens, as she calls it, and she's just wanted to go to the desert to kind of be inspired because she didn't really know what to write. So she's putting herself in the position of what she wants her character and her story to kind of be in. So that's like why she ends up in the desert. She's staying at like she's staying at a hotel and just kind of goes to like a hiking trail. So she's not like just driving into the middle of nowhere and just having at it, but she's like in civilization still. And so far she did go to the desert. She did go to like a little hike thing, and something very strange happens. Like, this book gets kind of weird pretty fast, and it's very metaphorical feeling. And I don't know, maybe like magical realism, I don't know, kind of like fever dream feeling. But there was kind of one little scene, and now she's like back at the hotel. So I don't know if she does end up going back and eventually getting lost in the desert. I'm not totally sure, but it's a lot of conversations around emotions and anticipating somebody's death and going through grief before somebody's gone and all of that. And I love those themes. I think those themes are amazing. And I also really, really love the writing. And I love the stream of consciousness of this character. I feel like I've already connected with and agreed and related, that's the word I wanted, related to a lot of the topics and issues that our main character has brought up. Like, I feel like I relate to a lot of the stuff she's talking about. So I'm really connecting to the story so far. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I don't know how like bizarre or unhinged it gets. I'm excited to find out, but really great so far. And I'm really excited to keep reading that. So that is the plan. I'm going to read that today. And actually, before any of that, I need to go to the library because I need to return some books, and I have a hold available, which I already know what it is. It's Ruthless Vows. So I have that available. I don't know if or when I'm going to read it this month, honestly. I feel like I should, just to get that duology done. We'll see, but I have to go pick that up and return these books. So let me just show you guys what books I'm returning. I'm returning Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I don't remember if I talked about this yet in this vlog, but I did technically start this. I got 25 pages in, and I just like wasn't really feeling it. I know 25 pages is not a lot, but I just wasn't really feeling it. So I kind of moved on to other stories. I do have the audiobook still available through my Libby app though. So if I decide to go back to this, I'm just going to go to the audiobook. I think I have the audiobook for 13 more days. So that's being returned because these are all due. Also, that's being returned is Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin. I just didn't have time to get to it, so it's being returned. I wanted to do and was planning to do like a weird books reading vlog where like Death Valley was going to get read, and I have some other books on the docket that I want to read, but I decided to just kind of like integrate them within these reading vlogs and try to just sneak some weird books in here and there, and then maybe once I read enough I'll do like a recommendations video. We'll see. But that was the intention with this one, and it didn't happen. Then I have To Be Devoured by Sarah Tantlinger. I actually did read this. This is a short story, and I talked about it in my February wrap up. So if you're curious about that, there it is. And then lastly, I have to return Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. Honestly, I don't know why I picked this up because I did not know when I would ever have time to read this. I really want to read this though. This is something I definitely want to get again eventually. I just like couldn't help myself and decided to check it out even though I knew there was like nowhere I would read it because it's not on my March TBR and I got it at the end of February, so like I wasn't gonna have time then. Even though it is pretty short, I just like don't know. There's nowhere to put it right now because I have too many books on the stack. I have 20 books on my TBR, which granted I knew I was not going to read all of those. It's pretty much just like a stack of books that I will pick from. This was just like a book that I grabbed and I didn't get to and I won't be able to get to, but I do really want to read it eventually. I think it's kind of like a literary horror with a sapphic romance. I think that's kind of the vibes I'm getting from it. I don't really know too much more about it other than two women meet at like a farmer's market or something like that. And I don't know what else to expect from this. So the expectations are low. Not like because I don't think I'll like it, just because I don't know what even like genre it really is. I just get kind of like literary horror, sapphic romance vibes from it. So I do really want to read this eventually. It's just not in the cards for right now. So that has to be returned. I will get back to you guys. I'll give you guys another reading update before I finish this book. So I will probably give you guys a reading update when I'm another 50 to 100 pages in. We'll see how I'm feeling, where it feels appropriate to give a reading update. So we will talk then. I am now 187 pages into Death Valley. So I only have about like 50 pages left, but I wanted to give you guys an update. So I'm still really liking it. I really, really like the writing. It is not quite as like bizarre and unhinged as I guess I assumed it was going to be. It's very much more introspective, very kind of like cathartic. It's almost like this woman's lost in the desert to find herself. In a way, it's not as fever dream or hallucinatory as I thought either, but I'm not mad about it because the writing just is really, really beautiful and I'm really connecting to this character. I just feel like a lot of her personal internal conflicts and turmoil I just really relate to in a lot of ways. Not in the sense that me and the main character have gone through similar things, but I feel like I've just dealt with similar feelings and emotions towards other stuff in my life. So I'm really, really enjoying it, really connecting with it. I'm curious to see how it ties up. I don't know if it's going to be like an ambiguous ending or if it will be nicely tied up, but it's definitely very literary fiction. There's a lot of metaphors going on and there's a lot of themes surrounding grief, anticipatory grief, anxieties, depression, stuff like that, illnesses and guilt, anger, just complicated emotions surrounding that when you're not necessarily the person dealing with health issues, but you're the person dealing with a person dealing with health issues and how complicated that can sometimes get. And it's just very unique too. I haven't read anything quite like this that takes on quite the same, like I've read a lot of grief stuff, but this takes on anticipatory grief, which I think is just so much more, not more interesting, but so much more unique. I've only ever read grief following death, and this is an anticipatory grief that's handled, and I just think it's very interesting and opens a lot of conversations up. And overall, it just feels very like raw and relatable, but it's very stream of consciousness, very character driven. Not much is going on other than the thoughts of our characters. So this will definitely be finished today. I will definitely sit down and read the last 50 pages of that. And then also, I don't know if I've updated you guys on Kingdom of Ash recently, but I am listening to the audiobook for Kingdom of Ash and I only have an hour and 18 minutes left. So I'm hoping I can finish that today too, because I'm gonna go to the grocery store after I get off here and kind of dawdle around. So hopefully that last hour and 18 minutes will be finished by the time I get home. Thoughts so far, I really enjoyed the way that the story started. It opened very strong. We were dealing with some characters that had to go find some other characters in a way. I don't want to like say too much, obviously, but had a character that was dealing with kind of like PTSD after some stuff that they went through after being captured. So I thought that that was very interesting, and I think Sarah J. Maas does do kind of like PTSD and trauma responses very well, especially because I've read the ACOTAR series, and I enjoyed the character Nesta in that because she is very complex and complicated and deals with a very I don't know how to put it, but kind of very explosive and I guess like mean response to trauma. She just kind of will push people away, I guess is a way to put it, push people away and kind of intentionally make people almost not like her. And she's just very rough around the edges, and she's very complex in that way. And I feel like Sarah J. Maas does a good job of exploring characters dealing with trauma and various ways of trauma response. And I feel like in the beginning of Kingdom of Ash, we had some of that, which I really like. It did get a little bit boring in the middle for me because it was very, very, very just battles. Very much just people fighting, war, and like, unless it's done very well, it's boring for me to read personally. It just was very mid to me because it wasn't very descriptive. Yet it wasn't super surface level either. So it was just very in the middle. It's like she didn't really go for it all the way in terms of like description and complications and stuff like that, but went for it more than I would have wanted somebody to if they weren't going to like get very detailed with it. If that makes any sense. It probably doesn't. But it just feels like she should have either made it less detailed or more detailed, I guess. Because the way it ended in the middle for me personally and my personal taste just made it very boring. But I feel like battles are kind of like that anyway. So it just like dragged a bit in the middle. And yeah, I'm curious to see how this wraps up, but I feel like I know. I feel like at this point, I know Sarah J. Maas's style. And because of that, I feel like I don't feel that tense because I don't expect heartbreak to happen in a way. Okay, skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear. It's not like a spoiler, but it kind of alludes to Sarah J. Maas's pattern of writing. So it could allude to the way that a story might end. So go ahead and fast forward 30 seconds if you don't want to know a potential spoiler that kind of hints at her writing style. But Sarah J. Maas does not like to kill off main characters. It seems like dads stand no chance. If you're a dad in a Sarah J. Maas story, you're not going to last the whole book. Sorry. But main characters, I don't feel like Sarah J. Maas ever kills off or creates a very, very impactful loss, which isn't like, I guess, a bad thing. But because of that, I'm not very tense. Like, I don't feel like we're going to lose anybody that we care that much about. Or if we do, they're going to come back. And if you've read ACOTAR and stuff like that, like you know. So anyways, that out of the way, I am curious to see how this ties up. But I do feel like at this point, I'm just kind of listening to it and I'm not fully on the edge of my seat or anything like that. Like, I feel like you should be, but I've had just a very mixed experience with Throne of Glass in general, which I'll talk about later. Maybe I'll be eating my words after I finish this last hour, 18 minutes. I could be eating my words. I could be putting my foot in my mouth or right now. So who knows? I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to hopefully finish that during that. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to read Death Valley and hopefully finish that. And it's still very early in the day. So I will definitely start the next book and we'll kind of figure that out together because I don't know if I'm going to start in the Roses of Pereria or whatever it's called. I don't know if I'm going to start that because I got some book mail that has a very anticipated release for me. So it might be a change of game plan for the next book, but stay tuned. And next time you hear from me, I will be giving you my final thoughts for Death Valley and Kingdom of Ash, and we will pick out my next read and start that. I finished both books and it's only 3 p.m. so I'm really happy. Okay, Kingdom of Ash. Finished it. Mirroring a lot of the same thoughts I had. The ending, like nothing much more happened for the last like hour and 20 minutes that I listened to. It was just like resolutions. And we have quite a bit of characters. So there were just a bunch of resolutions. And kind of like what I figured would happen, happened. And the rest just played out. I'm debating between 3 or 3.5. I'm kind of leaning towards 3 because this one for me, the strongest part was the beginning. And then the rest just like played out, you know, and just like wrapped up the series, which is just less exciting for me. There's no like new reveals. Nothing happened really that shocked me or I didn't see coming. It just played out. So I feel like this one is a 3. Not my favorite one of the series. So overall, how do I feel about Throne of Glass? Overall, I think it was good. It had shining moments, but I just definitely did not connect to it the way I connected to the ACOTAR series. I think part of my issue is I listened to Throne of Glass, the whole series, on audiobooks. So I feel like that made me not connect as much as I would have connected to it had I read physically. But at the same time, even after I started it audibly, or like audio through Audible, I just didn't feel drawn to pick it up and spend time reading it physically. Not to say I didn't like any of them. I really liked Crown of Midnight. If I remember correctly, I think I really liked the second half to Crown of Midnight. If that one has Nehemia in it, I really enjoyed the female friendship exploration in Crown of Midnight. I liked Heir of Fire. Heir of Fire, we got introduced to a lot of more characters, a lot of new territories, and got a much better idea of the magic system, pretty much. Queen of Shadows, I don't remember what happened in it, but I do feel like I liked it. And then Empire of Storms, I definitely had the most gag moments, the most gasping, like clutching my pearls. The most went down in Empire of Storms, I feel like, action-wise. Tower of Dawn, you already know how I feel about that. That was 2.5 stars. Kingdom of Ash, it wrapped up the series. So it was what it was. It was a little bit mid. I think overall the series for me is like maybe a 4-star. Because there's books throughout the series. I think I gave Heir of Fire 5 stars. Or Empire of Storms 5 stars. I gave one of the books 5 stars. But I don't know that I would like go out of my way to like scream about it. I think most of the books that I really liked were 4 and 4.5 stars in the series, and then it goes down to like 2.5. So I think overall, Throne of Glass for me is like a 3.5 or 4-star series. So I'm glad I finished that. It feels good to be done with that because that is the longest series I have ever read, and it does feel like an accomplishment. So still enjoyed ACOTAR more, but Throne of Glass had its moments. Now, as for Death Valley by Melissa Broder, I don't have much more to say about it. I feel like I've already said a lot of my thoughts about this one, but it was really great, super well written, and just such a unique twist to a theme that is done quite often, but it was still done in such a unique way. And I enjoy a stream of consciousness story. I think I really extra connected with this one because I just related to a lot of what the main character was saying. And even the pattern of her thoughts, like her thought pattern and how all of that was, I just related to it and I thought it was very good. I will say the ending lost me just a little bit. There were definitely moments that outshined other moments, and there were a couple of moments that just didn't hit the same, but overall really enjoyed it. I'm debating on the rating again. I think I'm gonna give it, it's a 4-star, but it's a really strong 4 stars, and I really want to check out some of Melissa Broder's other works. I haven't read anything else from her, but I have heard of Milk Fed and The Pisces. Now we have to pick out what books I'm going to start next. So I want to pick out an audiobook, and I have my physical book here, but the audiobook, I have 3 available to me on my Libby app right now. So I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts, which I keep mentioning, and I just like, I don't know what it is. I just like don't feel drawn to it, and I don't know why, because I felt so drawn to it when I first heard about it. But I do have that, and that is due the soonest, so it makes me want to prioritize that one. And it is technically the only audiobook I have right now that was part of the March TBR, so that also makes me feel like I should prioritize that one. Otherwise, I do also have Big Swiss by Jen Began and The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel available to me, but both of those I still have 19 days left for, and they're both 11 hours and sped up. They'll be quicker. So I feel like I need to do Powerless. That is most likely the one I will do. So that's that. And then we have the book I'm going to start physically next here in this box, because it finally got delivered to me yesterday. This is one of my most anticipated books for 2024. I pre-ordered this. It was originally supposed to release in January, and it got pushed back to March. And then it was supposed to release March, I don't know, whatever last Tuesday was when this did end up releasing. And I thought I would get the book closer to that, but it took an additional week and a half to get here because I got it a week and a half later. But it is The Dawn and Its Light by Piper CJ. So this is the fourth and final book in the series, The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ. I have absolutely adored, loved, bawled, cried, giggled, lived this book in this series. Well, not this book, but this series. I love this series. If you've heard me talk about this series, you know. It's just been so great. I'm so connected to these characters. I'm so invested in the world, in the politics, in the relationships, in every aspect. I love the fantasy elements. It's just beautiful. Love it. It has bisexual representation and bisexual relationships, and I really, really love it. And it's so good. It's a slow burn fantasy romance. And this is the fourth and final book, and I'm like so excited and so nervous. But I'm a little bit confused because the cover isn't like quite white like the other covers are. It literally looks like when my hair, if I like have white nails on and I start to like brush through my hair and my nails kind of get a pink sheen to them. It looks like that. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or if this was like not well printed. Okay, so here is it next to the Gloom Between Stars. I think that makes it a little bit more obvious that it just like has something going on. And I don't know if that's how they all look or if it's just like my copy. Yeah, you can tell if I do that. So that's interesting. I almost want to like go to the bookstore and see what it looks like in the bookstore. Okay, well, so I don't know. There's that. There's that. I don't know if maybe it's pink because it's a Barnes & Noble exclusive. But this one was a Barnes & Noble exclusive. Both of these are Barnes & Noble exclusive, but this is like a sticker that I could try to remove if I wanted to, and this is like printed on there. So I wonder if that messed with it. I have no idea. It's kind of annoying. I know that's such like a nothing problem, but I feel like you guys will understand because that's going to be the only one that's like not white. But this is going to be my next physical read. And that's what I'm going to start now. I'm not going to probably do an audiobook for a little while. Next update, hopefully I will be well into The Dawn and Its Light, and I will be able to give you guys an update there. I do need to sit down and log the books I've done so far for this vlog. I have not done the points or anything yet. So yeah, anyways, I'll let you guys know what happens with the next update. So it is a few days later. I ended up getting so busy over the last few days and did not pick up my camera and honestly barely read. So I am playing catch up with vlogging, and I'm just going to conclude and outro this vlog. So I did end up submitting all of my books. So I just wanted to let you guys know the points for those. So for Kingdom of Ash, I ended up getting 61 positive points because that one was so large. A lot of the points had to do with the size. Starve Acre got the team positive 32 points, and then Death Valley ended up giving the team positive 20 points and then negative 7 points. I don't remember what team I picked. I think I picked Team Creation. Sorry if you're on Team Creation. I decided not to pick Team Shadows because I feel like a lot of people are probably attacking Team Shadows. The only reason I even went for the attack points is because it was larger than the additional bonus points from the prompts. So then next vlog, I will definitely be reading The Dawn and Its Light by Piper CJ. I really didn't get far into this at all, so I'm hunkering down for the next few days and reading that. I also did start the audiobook for Powerless by Lauren Roberts, so I will talk about that in the next vlog. And then in the next vlog, it will also encapsulate the weekend of peace, or the Peace Talks weekend. I think it was March 22nd to March 24th. So any book we start and finish within that time frame gets the team an extra 10 points. So I will be reading a bunch of novellas, maybe some manga. I don't really know what yet. Definitely at least the books I mentioned in the TBR. But we're going to see what else we can find because I want to get some short audiobooks as well. So that's what you can expect for the next vlog. I am also currently, as you can tell, a little bit of a sneak peek, I am also currently working on revamping my library room and creating a much more cohesive bookshelf situation in a little reading nook area. So I'm in the process of filming that video, and then I have to organize all my books onto the shelves. So that is probably going to be its own video that I don't know when I'm going to post yet. It'll probably just kind of randomly go up and not on my usual Wednesdays. So make sure you're subscribed if you're interested in seeing that. Make sure your notifications are on so it lets you know when I do post that, because I have no idea when I'm going to post that. It's probably going to be super random. So expect that, at least 2 coming up on my channel. And then otherwise, next week will be the regularly scheduled 3rd week of Realmathon. If you made it to this point in the video, leave me a cactus emoji down below so that I know. If you haven't yet, please give the video a like, subscribe for future content, turn on the bell notification, all the fun YouTube things that help your girl out. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!